All right, and of course, tonight we are taking a strong focus on hawalas. It's been on everybody's lips since last night. So what exactly is hawala and what exactly is going on? Joining us is Anthony Washira from KFRA, and you were just on TV earlier when you gave a press conference about the 13 entities that have been implicated in the investigations. First of all, Patrick has given us a sense of exactly what hawalas are and how they work. But there seems to be a sense that because one doesn't always need identification in order to transact, then it creates many loopholes. Is that a correct statement?
True, thank you. The issue is, I think there is a big confusion between what we are calling hawalas and what has been authorized and licensed as money remittance providers. And as I've heard, and as I heard even yesterday, the money remittance providers are the ones that are licensed by CBK and are running through the regulations of 2013 that provide us with money remittance rules. Now, hawala is an underground kind of service. It does not in any way have any person to report to. It does not file returns. They have no taxation to pay. You don't have to present any documentation. Those are hawalas. The 13 entities that have been suspended are not hawalas. They are actually
then
registered.
What is the difference when it comes to the transactions and how they are done? What are some of the key differences between the 13 entities that have been called hawalas by the government, that of course you say are not hawalas, but what's the difference between them and a regular hawala?
The big difference is that those ones are regulated. They work under a legal framework that has been defined by Central Bank of Kenya. And they are both regulated by CBK and the Financial Reporting Center, where they submit returns every day, every month, so that they are able to basically be followed and account for each and every one of the transactions. Basically, really what happens is this: you are not controlled in a hawala system. You can put in any money that you want to do, because you just have to deposit the money. You identify the person who's going to receive the money, and when that happens, the person on the other side is called and they receive the money. You don't have to produce any kind of documentation. But for the regulated people, the regulation says that you have to follow what you call know your customer process. The KYC is very important. Your identification, your source of funds, what you're going to do with those funds. So, and in any case, there is also a limit in which you can send. For any transaction more than $10,000, you have to present where the source of the funds are and where they're going. The maximum you can do for a transaction is $100,000.
Yes. For
a hawala, really, there's no limit.
But is there a window within the 13 entities? Is there a window where they actually perform hawala business?
You see what happens when an entity is by itself. They are supposed to do as much as possible to make sure that each transaction is passed through the system. And if it passes through the system, the audit system will not allow any of such transactions to happen. But anything is possible. Maybe if they have someone who comes, decides to maybe see the possibility of doing a higher one, and they can collude with them, it's possible. But with the framework that we've put, both at the CBK and at the KFRA, it becomes very, very difficult, because we have a framework where we follow up both the money remittance providers and also the forex bureaus, because that's what falls under us.
In your opinion, why do you think the 13 entities were included in this investigation? I
really have no idea why that happens, because they are actually legal entities that have been authorized and licensed by the Kenyan government. They work under the same framework that has been defined by the Kenyan government. So you don't really understand why they should have been actually registered. Maybe what I would think of is the same confusion that is coming up. Them being categorized
as hawalas.
And that is why, for example, that is why they were actually categorized together with suspected terrorists. And actually that hurts me as the owner of the association, as the one who takes care of them, because it feels like I'm also being categorized as a terrorist or a perpetrator.
I guess we'll have to wait for investigations to see.
I'll have to wait and see what happened, but I'm hoping, I'm really praying. This really affects the economy, because we had a diaspora conference last week at Windsor. We spoke of the amount of remittances that come into this country, and this is one. Actually, these money remittance providers give us up to around 34% of the remittances. We're talking about $300 million.
All right, and of course the rule of law must be followed either way. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Anthony Washira of KFRA letting us in on what exactly is happening around the Hawala investigations.